Namaste, goddesses. Welcome to another episode of Planet Aphrodite with Meena. On this free day, we have a goddess from New Zealand, and she has been working in UN for many decades. And then she chose her calling to help others, and she chose to be free. So today's story is all about Joanne, and she's going to share an amazing story with us. Still, stay tuned.
Namaste, Joanne. How are you?
Namaste, Meena. Very well, thank you. Greetings from New Zealand.
Yes, we have goddesses all over the world on our planet, and they truly deserve to inspire other goddesses. Lovely. So, how are you doing, Joanne?
I'm doing very well today, thank you. Pleased to be here.
You're most welcome to our Planet Aphrodite with Meena. Joanne, I'm very curious, how is the younger Joanne like, and how is her life?
Well, thanks for asking. I grew up in a small New Zealand town, Hamilton. It's grown since then. And looking back, I had quite a few good opportunities, but when I was young, I was quite unaware of a lot of things. But I just remember that during that time when I was at school and at university, I always had a sense of having enough, even when I didn't have that much money. And I was doing things like sewing or working in restaurants, cooking for just a little money, but I always had enough. And I worked my way through university. And I got 2 degrees there. Social science was my first one. And then I went to Auckland Law School and qualified as a lawyer.
Wow.
And I went on from there. I did some time in a law firm and then with the government for a while. And then I went into the corporate world as a policy advisor and a legal officer.
Lovely.
So that was how my career started in New Zealand back in the day.
That's very interesting. And how did you make the switch, goddess? How did self-love happen? Where did self-love happen? When did you fall in love with yourself? Which point of time? Since the beginning it was like that, or something happened with you, or anything?
I think it came later, although I knew in myself that I wanted to make a switch, and a big switch. I did my first overseas assignment in Outer Mongolia for a month, and when I was based in New Zealand, and that gave me the feeling that I wanted to go further and to experience life abroad. And I applied to work for the United Nations and did a series of exams and tests for that, and I was offered a job. So I think somehow on a subconscious level, I was setting myself goals that were outside the box even then.
Okay.
But it wasn't for many more years that I became consciously able to do that. So I worked for 27 years. I worked for the UN. I was based in Europe.
Wow.
Also did some time in New York, which I loved. It was really a great experience. And I spent my last 5 to 6 years in the Balkans, working in Kosovo, which was involved in a war for some time.
Right. Wow.
So it was really gave me a lot of experience of all different kinds of life. And in that process, I went through a lot of ups and downs in my own life. I was working in a bureaucracy, in a corporate environment, which gave me a lot of opportunities, but not so much of the self-expression that I really yearned for. But inside of me, there was a creative person who wanted more self-expression. And during that time, unfortunately, my marriage also fell apart. So this was probably one of the most challenging times when there was pressure in my professional life and also my private life.
Right.
And in this kind of pressure cooker, this was when I really started, I had an awakening while I'd been studying a lot of things over the years, such as my active dreaming and shamanism. It was really under the personal pressure that I woke up And I realized that I could set my own goals more actively. And I would say that that happened over the past few years.
Lovely, Joanne. Very, very interesting career you have, uh, and at this juncture of your life, when you are reading, knowing, learning about different modalities and different things, what happened? What happened inside? Did the situation outside change? Did you create them? Or did you make peace with it? Like, as it is, you said, like, even in your younger days, you were a very contented person. You were always happy. You were always in abundance, right? So I would like to know, how were your views and perspective changed about life?
I think I came to realize that I really needed to be more actively engaged. I think I had a natural kind of optimism and a natural feeling that I could meet my goals, and I always did. But I could always take it to the next level and the next level. And I just remember there was one day, it was just a couple of weeks, not weeks, years ago. I just woke up and I thought, I don't need to work in this organization anymore. What I need to be is my own person. And I just woke up with that and I started to plan for it. I took early retirement from the organization and I've come back to New Zealand and really working towards setting up the life that I want now, with much more awareness than I had before.
Wow.
Especially going through the different experiences, and even the difficult experiences were enriching. And something I noticed is that gratitude is really an essential tool, that when we can acknowledge with gratitude all the wonderful things that life has offered us and our wonderful skills and abilities, then life becomes better and better. So this is one of the key elements. And in terms of the self-love, or self-compassion, you can see the self-love or self-compassion, it's the same thing. I think in my younger days, I was not really so aware of the need for that. But as I matured, I realized the importance of it. Because so often as women, we're expected to do everything these days. It's gone from women can do anything, and it's become women have to do everything.
Right.
So I found that I was, in my partnership, I was always the one looking after the household. I was the one working. I was bringing in the money. I was basically doing everything for everyone else, and not really expressing myself the way I wanted to. And it was only sometime later that I realized, that I needed to take a step back from that. And I became empowered in a way to create my own reality. And this is the happy situation that I find myself in now. Though now I find things can almost happen too fast. Like I create my goals, I do my visualization, I do my gratitude, and then things can happen really fast. And
wow, so you have got an elevator to success. Literally, you can just create it, right?
Almost. It seems like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes hiccups are there, but largely and best part is that you're happy right now. You're happy right now, and you're expressing yourself the way you would like to desire, as much as you want to. That's so wonderful.
I think maturity has brought me a lot to be grateful for. That all those experiences, and it's almost like having several lives in one life.
Yeah.
And then it places me in a position to share with other people what I've experienced in those decades.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Totally a roller coaster ride in its own way. And
last few years, they were like the last 6 or 7 years have been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, but
which I enjoyed every moment of it.
that peace and happiness and gratefulness, it shows on your face, Joanne. It just shows.
Oh, thank you. Do you think so?
So, Joanne, there will be many goddesses who would be wondering what can they do if they are doing everything, or maybe they are just too busy to even express themselves. So what is the gem that you would like to offer the goddesses today?
If they're so inclined, I think it is really useful to have a little journal. It doesn't, you don't have to journal everything, but you can, a gratitude journal is great. You can look back on that and see all the good things that happened to you and remember back. So that becomes a real resource.
Right.
And in my dream teacher mode, I would also say to start keeping a dream journal if they possibly can. Just try to remember your dreams, jot them down, and it's a very useful resource to look back on, and you can get a lot of insights from that.
Thank you so much. I'm just curious, what about people like me who don't dream at all, or almost like I barely dream when I wake up? Like I realize that I dreamt something maybe 4 times a year, not more than that, maybe.
Well, 4 times a year, it's still something you can work on. So you could
Okay.
try writing down those dreams, those 4 dreams, and you just form the intention, I will remember my dreams. You have a pad and pencil by the bed, or pen, and even if you wake up and there's just a very brief image or something like that, you write it down and it will encourage more to come.
Okay. I'll try that. Thank you so much. And I'm sure goddesses will love these 2 exercises. Gratitude writing I have been doing for a while now, but dream, definitely that's interesting. I'll try that. And so Joanne, where can our goddesses follow you? What are your social media handles? Because you have so much wisdom to offer.
I have a website, which is dreamlifenz.com, dreamlifenz.com. And I'm on Facebook under Dream Life New Zealand, and it's DL, it's time. But if they just search on Dream Life New Zealand, it will, Joanne, it will come up.
Okay.
So those are the 2 main places.
Okay, goddesses, do follow her and follow her wisdom. There is a lot from that we can learn from her. So thank you, Joanne, for your time, for your sharing, for your wonderful insights and gems that you offer to our goddesses. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Well, thank you very much. Namaste. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure has been completely mine. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So goddesses, how did you like the interview with Goddess Joanne? Wasn't that amazing? It was so nice to know about being compassionate to ourselves, being real and authentic to ourselves, and just learning from the experiences that's happening in our life, isn't it? With that thought, we'll meet next week on another episode of Planet Aphrodite with Meena. Please take a moment to like and comment about this episode and subscribe this channel. See you soon, next free day. Till then, increase the dose of self-love, because self-love can cause miracles. Namaste. Thank you.